Knickknacks Plastic Planet. With your host, it's Knickknack!
Hey everybody, I guess I'm probably not who you were expecting to see here today on the Plastic Planet, but really we're not even in the Plastic Planet. Well, it's your good friend, brother from another mother, Uncle Pat. I'm here to help out Knickknack a little bit, see what I can do while he's taking care of a little extra business. I'm going to show you a little bit what's been going on in my house, and maybe show you a little bit of some of the great acquisitions I got recently since the last time I think all of you were here. So hopefully I can do at least half as good a job as Knickknack does in entertaining. I'm not quite as funny. I'm a little older, a little fatter. But I've got some cool stuff, and that's really what I want to show you today. And also, I'm thinking about showing you something a little bit different. A couple of my favorite comic books. Since I know the focus on this channel is always the collectibles, but a lot of the collectibles we buy, and I know especially at Knickknacks, especially with Superman, are all around the comics. And so I figured it would be good to show you a little couple of my favorites that aren't superhero comics. We all know Batman, Superman, etc., but there's a couple gems out there in the world. Well, there's a lot of gems, but a couple gems out there that you guys might get a kick out of, so I thought I'd share those with you as well. So all right, let's get started.
The most powerful man in the universe.
All right, guys, check this out. So this is Vintage Snake Mountain. Now this one was, for me as a child, it was probably one of my favorite toys ever that I never had. I had Castle Grayskull. I still have my Castle Grayskull, and it's in still in excellent shape, but this was always sort of my holy grail as a kid, and I just wanted this so bad. The funny part about this is, as cool as this thing is, it doesn't even hold a torch to Castle Grayskull, even though it's, the lair of ultimate evil. So I'll take you a little bit close-up walkthrough on this one. I bought this on eBay, got a really good price on it. It was really dirty and grimy, so I had to clean it up. The beauty of it is that it was pretty much complete. Microphone works. Didn't have its chains, which you can see here, but I actually got some great repros, which you're not supposed to do. But these ones are obviously repros. They're just a little bit better made, so they'll last. Cleaned it up. Stickers are all intact. Everything's great. So just a great find that as an adult now I get to relive my childhood days with my Masters of the Universe. And finally, my Skeletor has an evil lair to call his own. So let's take a closer look.
Hey, Knickknack, you butthole. Don't you know that YouTube celebrities don't get days off? Get back to work.
Alright, as you can see, we've got Snake Mountain here.
You can hear the spooky sounds from the working microphone. Pretty spooky.
The fact that it's intact and totally works is amazing to me, so can't beat that at all, especially for the price I got it at. I'll take you a little walk around the outside here, and you can see it, as well as the inside, which is actually pretty lackluster. Okay, as you can see here, we've got the full front view of the evil Snake Mountain. One of the things that always happens on this particular toy is the pegs for the rails here break off. The bridge is usually incomplete, a lot of stuff. This was totally complete, totally together. All I had to do was clean it. Really, really nice. Up here you can get a close-up of the chains. As you can see, they're a little bit reinforced up here at the tips to prevent them from breaking. They're a little bit more flexible than the originals. Otherwise, they're a mold made off. So perfect for my purposes. I just want to relive a little bit of my youth there. As you can see, there's the microphone. Stickers on the eyeballs are intact. The movable mouth. The reality of this particular playset is that it was made for basically, you played with it on the outside of the playset. The inside, as we'll get to in a minute, is really lackluster. most of the cool features. You can see some of the monsters, you know, here in the mold, the vines, the teeth. That's the kind of thing that made this playset so cool to me as a child, and that I loved. So on the inside of it, it's kind of just the reverse. There's nothing there. And that's a little disappointing if you're looking at a playset like Castle Grayskull, which has such great detail on the outside, and then a cool, you know, dungeon trapdoor, throne, etc. on the outside. Up here at the top, we've got the movable snake, the trapdoor, and the moving gate there. All very intimidating. Stairs, a spooky tunnel. So that's cool. And so that's kind of the outside. Again, how clean this was, well, after I cleaned it with soap and water, it was very clean. You know, a great piece, and probably one of the coolest looking pieces from the Mattel line back in the day, the Masters of the Universe line. I think it's cooler looking on the outside than ever the Castle Grayskull looked, but here we'll take a look on the inside, and you can kind of see how that goes.
By the power of Grayskull.
Okay, here's the inside of the notorious Snake Mountain. As you can see, there's really not anything in here. Yeah, we got some stickers. If you look close on the bottom there, ooh, spooky monsters there crawling out to get you. You know, one of the play features of this was they'd come in through the gate here, trapdoor, and then they would fall into the net secured there. Yeah, that's not very exciting. And why you have a door that leads to nothing is a little odd, but then again, we also have the feature here to move the snake back and forth. And that was to knock the character into the trapdoor and, you know, yeah, whatever. Here is the speaker box. This is actually where the speaker is that runs the Wolf microphone. Again, I had to do a little fiddling with it to get it to work, but it's amazing that it still does. Down here we've got another sticker, right? Bones, lizard, spider, trapdoor, you know. I'll give it this. The stickers do add a little something to the inside because there's really nothing else here. The inside's to maybe hold your figures. Some of the accessories, it does come with a ladder, which again, I don't know exactly where that's going to go, but hey, it works. So, you know, the inside of the Snake Mountain, big letdown, kind of like the ladder falling. However, still, I love this piece. My goal is to display it with my Castle Grayskull and, you know, then have both a Snake Mountain evil section and a heroic Castle Grayskull section. So there it is. There's kind of the ins and outs of this great vintage toy. Again, you know, I love the Masters of the Universe if you've checked out our previous transmissions. So just loving that I got the chance to show this to you guys and add it to my collection. All right, let's see what else I got for you. All right, guys, next up, got another classic Mattel HeMan toy, the Attack Track. This was also one of my favorites when I was a kid, and I never had it. Interestingly enough, this one was whoever the kid was that owned it in classic kid fashion, put the stickers on completely wrong from the instructions. He was probably like, instructions is for jerks, I don't need that, chuck them, and did it how he thought it was. So, which is cool, but I was shooting for a little bit more you know, vintage flair on what the original was supposed to look like. So interestingly enough, on eBay I found a guy that was selling stickers out of Australia. They're repro stickers, but again, you know, the originals were misplaced, they were faded, etc. So to get a nice set that's nice and crisp, clean for my collection, it is fantastic. I don't care if it makes it less vintage. I'm just happy with the end result. So let me give you a little close-up view of it. I wish I had C batteries. I need to get some so I can test this sucker out. I don't know if it works anymore. But everything else is complete, so even the Lord Road band's on the track, so I believe it's going to work. Maybe we'll do that in a future segment sometime if I can guest spot with Nick Knack on the Plastic Planet. Okay, so let's give you a little quick close-up on this. The Attack Track from vintage classic, you know, Masters of the Universe.
Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword.
Okay, there's the Attack Track in all of its glory. As you can see, we've got still intact the rubber bands, which are notorious for breaking with age. If you can get a close-up here, these ones are not in bad shape. A little cracked. Just have to keep an eye on them, and not that I'm putting this thing through its paces, but you know, with good care, they'll last for a lot longer. Also in place, we've got the rubber band. The guns are there. All that's intact. As you can see, we've got fresh stickers on there. You can see one of the hardest things I had to deal with when trying to restore this. Let's see if I can find it right here. You can see some of it right there. The original stuff, the original adhesive for the stickers just would not come off. I used a few different type solvents to get it to come, but I didn't want to wreck the vehicle itself. So at the end of the day, I kind of had to just, you know, and when you're not looking super close, you don't see it, so it's all right. I'll give you a little bit of a 180 here. There's the on and off switch. Obviously no batteries, so it's not doing anything. If we come around, you can see the other side, everything's intact. I can make it go so you can get an idea of what it did in the original. Super cool. In the cartoon show, this did look a little different, but as a kid, it didn't make any difference to me. You know, these awesome stickers, demons, lightning bolts, you know, flames, engine parts. I mean, what more could a little boy ask for in a badass vehicle? Yeah, so there's my latest, one of my latest acquisitions, the attack track from He-Man's Masters of the Universe. Will be going once I get my new displays set up. I'm doing a little construction here at Uncle Pat's house, and we're going to get something cool set up so that I can just show off all these cool toys. Alright, last but not least, as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to show you guys some comics. A lot of the stuff we all love is tied to comics. You know, I think we get caught up in the superhero stuff because it is so fun. It, you know, takes us back to our childhood, and even, you know, as adults, we can get into those stories. Whether it's Marvel or DC. I'm a DC man, as Knick-Knack is. You know, he's Superman. I pretty much love Batman. But there's a lot of other stuff that I dig too. So I just wanted to show you a couple of my favorites. Maybe you should go check these out. Really good comics. They're easy to get. Get the trade paperback. Get them digital on Comixology. So you can get them for a pretty fair price and take some different kinds of adventures. These aren't superhero books. They're more horror, sort of other worlds kind of things, fantasy, but a lot of fun nonetheless. So let's start off with one of the first books I want to show you guys. This one is called The Marquis. This book is written and illustrated by Guy Davis. I'll show you some of the interior work. It's basically about a man in sort of a in, you know, the, like, I think 18th century France. You know, you had a lot of during those times, especially in Christianity, there was Inquisition. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on the times. I'm not a great history buff, but you know, during those times, you know, there was the Inquisition. They punished people, saying they were witches, they were in league with the devil, all this kind of stuff. And this is about a story about a man that was, you know, he was a leader. He was a soldier. You know, as part of this sort of, you know, Inquisition in 18th century Venezuela, France, and ultimately he becomes basically the Marquis of Hell, the man or the soul destined to keep all the demons trapped in hell. Guy Davis, he used to do a lot of Hellboy work. He's also known for, like, if you like Pacific Rim, he did a lot of the monster design for Pacific Rim. He does all kinds of stuff like that, so he's a great artist, a lot of fun. This book is very adult, so I'm going to try to show you some pics that are not too racy, but yeah, there's all kinds of... The demons share a lot of, well, genitalia is kind of... It's kind of funny, but very gruesome in how he designs his monsters, his demons, in this book. So let me give you some interiors and talk a little bit more about it, and we'll see what you guys think. Okay, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea on the interiors here, right? We can see the Marquis here, who's coming into frame. He's visiting the house of a man that, as he puts on his mask, which you can see there, he's able to see through the mask, and he sees the true shape of the demon that's hiding in a man's body. And as you can see, the demon swells and changes. And then, of course, we have an amazing fight. What I just love about Guy's style is, it's very loose. It has a lot of energy, so it keeps a lot of your interest going when you're reading the book. He's able to translate that action into a visual story, a static story form. So here's just some of the interiors. This is a great book. One other cool thing in this particular collection from Dark Horse, they have he does a transition from color, and you can see there, I guess there's some racy stuff with giant HCs and whatnot and some bulls. But that is the kind of stuff. He transitions from black and white to color when the Marquis goes to hell. So interesting how he lays this stuff out. Great stories. If you like some horror, if you like, if you don't mind some black and white and love some color, just well written, beautifully drawn. I can't recommend enough. Again, the Marquis. This is the Inferno. This is a collection of a few stories that Guy Davis did, and you can get this. And I believe this was through Dark Horse Comics. So, a great read. Okay, up next, this was one of my favorites. I mean, I guess I might say favorites a lot. I don't know, but this one is called Barbarian Lord. It is by Matt Smith, and Matt Smith's an amazing artist, an amazing guy. Big heavy metal fan, so I hit it off with him in that regard. This book is a lot of tongue-in-cheek. It's all based on great, Viking lore, Norse mythology. If you notice, Barbarian Lord looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan. And that's the fun thing about this book is it just I don't know how else. It's just it's fun. It's funny. There's even some HeMan mixed in this. So I'll show you some pictures and I'll talk a little bit more about it. But Barbarian Lord, definitely pick this one up. You can get this through Amazon if I'm not mistaken. A nice hardcover copy. Okay, so here we are looking at some of the interiors of Barbarian Lord. If you can see, we've got a little, little Evelyn reference, Skeletor, Beastman. But, it's all very tongue-in-cheek, and Matt Smith makes it his own. This is his own creation, his own character. Lots of action. It is a bit violent, as you can see. Maybe not for the youngest kids. But he works in beautifully blacks and whites, grayscale, and his characters just have a lot of life. Anybody that's a fan of any of this kind of stuff, Norse mythology, like I said, HeMan, Conan, fantasy, swords and sorcery, you will get a kick out of this book. It's funny, it's brutal, and it's an amazing read. So I don't know what else to say more about it, but you can see this book, I think it was published by Clarion Books, is a culmination of his short stories. He sells them directly. I would go check out barbarianlord.com because he sells stories directly and some individual copies that are super sweet. I have a number of them and just love this stuff. I'd love to see more Barbarian Lord. So highly recommend this. If you're into any of this kind of stuff, man, go check out Barbarian Lord. Matt Smith, barbarianlord.com, and you can get this sucker on Amazon for not too much money, and it's a nice little hardcover book. So there you go, Barbarian Lord by Matt Smith. Sorry for the shine there. All right, and last but not least, we're going to do the shameless plug bit. As you guys know, I'm an artist, and I'm a comic book artist, so I thought I would share with you my own personal, one of my personal projects, and this is my own independent comic that I create. It's called The Outdoorsman. As you can see here, The Outdoorsman, this is in my issue number 4. Outdoorsman's a monster hunter, but he's not a monster hunter as you'd normally think. He hunts monsters, but he's like your old, good old boy hunter. Older man, So he's got a lot of experience, and he has to use his wits more than his muscles to overcome the obstacles and the monsters that he fights and goes after. It lets me play around in a lot of different genres I love. Horror, fantasy, various monsters, just, vampires. What do I do? Vampires, Loch Ness Monster, werewolves. I get to play around in all of it in different mythologies. So a lot of fun. If you like horror and you like a little bit of black humor and you like a good action book, I might recommend checking out The Outdoorsman. I'll show you some interiors here of this particular issue. You can go to odmcomic.com. We'll put the link in the description below. And I sell both digitally through Comixology, so you can go to Comixology and find me, or you can go directly to them on the store, and I sell hard copies of a number of the books. I think issues 1 through 4 and the trade paperback that I have are all available. Issue 5 is just digital only right now, but I'm going to get those printed up in the near future here. So why don't I show you a little interiors of this, and we'll see what you guys think. Alright, here you can see some of the interiors of the Outdoorsman book. This one's called Boxing Wolves, which is actually German werewolves, and the Outdoorsman goes on a hunt with his buddy to Germany after a specific set of werewolves, which just happened to be a pair of cursed hooligans, cursed by a witch for doing terrible things to her cat, into werewolves. Unfortunately, it doesn't end very well for the Outdoorsman's buddy, but the Outdoorsman does get his ultimate revenge and finishes his hunt. So as you can see here, color comic. I guess I have my own style, and it's grown a bit since these books are a little bit older now. But just to give you an idea here, a lot of action, a little bit of dark humor, and lots of bullets, as you can see. So maybe an unusual hero, to say the least, but something a little bit different. If you like a good action comic with some horror, dark comedy, maybe give it a shot. You might like it. So again, odmcomic.com. All right. All right, so I think that's it for us today. Joined here by my oldest boy. We don't say names on the Plastic Planet, but he's a big gamer, loves toys and collectibles too, just like his old man. So we just wanted to say thanks for hanging out with me today. I know it's not as cool as Knick Knack, but I think I bring a little fun to the party, and hopefully you'll have another opportunity to hang with Knick Knack on the Plastic Planet here soon. But to send you out here, we'll give you a little view of some of my fish tank and my collectibles, and definitely remember to like and subscribe, because that's how we let Knick Knack know we love him and we enjoy his stuff. And I got to tell you, obviously I'm his friend, but I like and subscribe to his channel because they bring me entertainment to no end. So hopefully I didn't drop his ratings too much today, and that you enjoyed what I had to show you. And give that like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you next time.